internet, my name is Lave and I watched Detective Pikachu, which is directed by Rob Letterman, who's had some success with some of his movies, like some of them I've liked. Other ones I haven't liked. I think some of them have been turkeys. Now he's directing the first live-action feature set in the world of Pokémon, which is a story about a kid called Tim Goodman who goes to Rhyme City, a place where humans and Pokémon coexist, to find out what happened to his detective father who has mysteriously disappeared. There he runs into his father's Pikachu partner who has lost his memory but now has the ability to talk, with Tim being the only one who understands him, so together they try to solve the mystery. So full disclosure, I don't really know anything about Pokemon. I was aware of the cartoon series with Ash and Pikachu, but I was too old for it really when that started taking over the world. It wouldn't have done my street cred any good to have watched it at the age that I was, but I got the appeal and the premise of it, like going out catching these pocket monsters, I think they're called. You battle them to catch some more. Like, I totally get the appeal of it, but I just never really got into it. And that stuff doesn't really happen in this movie. You get glimpses of it, but it's all kind of gone underground now. And to be fair to the film, it isn't selling that in the first place. What it is selling is an odd couple buddy cop movie, and that's what it's delivered. It really did give me vibes of movies that I did watch and enjoyed when I was younger, films like Turner and Hooch and K9. Yeah, really showing my age now. And like those movies and all other buddy cop movies, this one follows the same formula, with the two protagonists not really getting along with each other at first, but as the adventure unfolds, they settle their differences and learn to work together. When the film starts, you find Tim, played by Justice Smith, in quite a low point in his life. He's really upset with his father for leaving him to go and do his detective work, which does get explained through what I thought was unnecessary flashbacks and these convenient holographic like images to explain the plot, but I guess it's necessary because this is a kids movie, so I can forgive it for that. But the film doesn't really explain why Tim has a sort of grudge against all Pokemon. I guess it's because his dad is a detective for the Pokemon, but it doesn't really explain that. And I'm not saying that Justice Smith is bad in the role. He does add emotional weight to it, but he's not a character that you immediately gravitate towards. And because of that, the film does start off on quite a downbeat, which had me thinking that little kids might find it a bit too Jigglypuff. But the fun really starts the moment that Pikachu turns up, voiced by Ryan Reynolds, who does what he does, bringing his sarcastic Deadpool sense of humour to the table. There is actually another Deadpool connection within the film, with the guy who played Dopinder in Deadpool popping up as another character in this, and weirdly Rita Ora does as well. I don't know if she has some sort of connection or is a fan of the Pokemon series, but she pops up as well as like this scientist woman. Like, okay. There's a host of other famous people in there as well. I felt like they underused Ken Watanabe as this lieutenant and former colleague of Tim's dad, and I also wasn't so keen on Kathryn Newton's character, who's playing a wannabe journalist looking for her first big story. I just wasn't feeling the chemistry between her and Justice Smith's character. But the biggest surprise casting wise for me was actually Bill Nighy, who pops up as this tech conglomerate who's dying of an illness, kind of in the same way as Norman Osborn in the Amazing Spider-Man films. Now, when we first see the character, he pops up in this like newsreel footage and you see him as a younger person, and I don't think they've done the digital de-aging like Marvel movies have done with their characters. I think instead what they've done is taken actual footage of a young Bill Nighy and then augmented what he's saying and changed the dialogue, kind of in the same way that they did in the Forrest Gump movies with the presidents, only the tech is a lot better. The visual effects in general are fantastic, with one seismic set piece I thought stole the show, which was executed really well, but what they really nailed was the look and feel of the Pokemon characters, striking the right balance between photoreal and cartoon. Pikachu looks like Pikachu, and he is the cutest thing ever. I want one. I love the way he moves and his little mannerisms, and he's voiced really well by Ryan Reynolds. I also really liked the mime character that we saw a glimpse of in the trailer. The way that scene ends is a bit sinister, and speaking of sinister, There's one Pokemon, I think it's called a Ditto Pokemon, which has the ability to morph and shapeshift into humans, all except for their eyes, and it is without a doubt the scariest thing I have ever seen on screen. It really freaked me out. But in general, the Pokemon are rendered really well. I think the people working on the Sonic movie should take note. So that's my thoughts on Detective Pikachu, and pause the video if you want to take a closer look at my enjoyment tracker now. As a non-fan of the Pokemon franchise, I thought the film was pretty formulaic, and the big plot twist at the end of the film I thought was a gigantic plot hole, which I don't want to get into for fear of spoilers for those who haven't seen it. But all in all, I thought it was quite fun as well, and it should please the real fans of the Pokemon franchise. So thanks very much for watching this review. I really do appreciate it. If you've seen it, let me know what your favourite Pokemon character is and why down in the comments. And as always, thanks for watching this review. I really do appreciate it. If you can, give it a like, and don't forget to share the Lave. Pika! Subscribe.